Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Gizzo from the ChiCity Cypher, and I am here with a man who was putting in work in Chicago for many years as Mr. Ceasefire and also ran for governor in Illinois. It is my pleasure to present you guys with Tio Hardiman. How you doing, brother?
Well, it's an honor to be here with ChiCity Cypher.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Thank you very much for joining us. So today, I know you're here with a very special message. We're gonna be putting together a web series called Mr. Ceasefire. Can you tell the public a little bit about the show?
Yeah, without a doubt. Mr. Ceasefire is all about the work I've done over the last 15 years in Chicago. As a matter of fact, over the last 15 years, we've mediated anywhere from about 1,200 conflicts in which we stop killings on the front end. It's not just about me. It's Mr. Ceasefire and the tail of the violence interrupters. The violence interrupters are a specially trained unit of young men and women who know how to go out and stop killings on the front end. So I think the audience would really, really love these stories because nobody got killed, number one, and we stopped it before it got to that level. And you have a lot of different techniques we pretty much use in order to make sense of the madness here on the streets of Chicago. And these stories need to be told due to the fact that people really need to see and hear stories like this so young men can say, you know what? Maybe I don't need to shoot this guy. I can work it out like they did with Mr. Ceasefire.
Exactly.
So my alter ego is Captain Black. That's my alter ego.
Okay.
Right? But Mr. Ceasefire is the work that I've been involved in throughout my life. So Mr. Ceasefire will be coming soon as a web series, and I'm glad to announce it right here with the ChiCity Cypher because, like I say, it's very important because when you talk about saving lives, you should look at the faces of some of the young people's lives we saved. And I have young brothers and sisters running up to me in Chicago almost every day saying, Mr. Ceasefire, what you going to do? So this is what I plan to do. I plan to give the world a masterpiece showing the world how we, negotiate and mediate conflicts out in order to save a life.
Definitely, and I think that it's important to shine a light on those things because for a lot of people, it's an uncomfortable topic. Prime example, us being downtown Michigan Avenue, walking the casket down, showing people the real Chicago, and I think it's important that you're doing this show because you'll get to show the real Chicago and what happens behind the scenes. Your purpose in this show is to show kids that there's an alternative. Tell people, give people an example of a story that, that's related to the web series so they could know.
Well, I'll give you a simple story. I call it Baby's Mama's Drama. We had a young guy one day, his father was a Cook County sheriff. He stole his father's gun, all right, because he had knocked on his baby's mother's door, and another guy answered the door with a gun in his little, on his side, and told him, this is my woman now, you need to get from in front of this house here. And he shot up in the air at the young guy. Wow. So the young guy ran home crying crocodile tears, and he stole his father's gun, and he was on his way back to his baby's mama's house to try to shoot this guy. But the only thing about it is the guy that had the gun at his baby's mother's house was a real shooter. This guy had never shot a gun before. So his father called my team. He was panicking. His son had taken the gun. He didn't know exactly where the young guy was going, but one of the young guy's friends knew where he was going. So I had two of my violence interrupters to meet him there when he got to the front door. And he knocked back on the door, and the guy came out ready to blaze him, man. He came out ready to blaze him. My guy said, look here, hold up, man, hold up. We don't need to do this. Let's try to work this thing out. This is about the guy. Now, the guy that was coming back over there to shoot the guy, he was the father of the child, the baby's father.
Yeah.
But she had changed her mind. She wanted to be with the other guy. So one thing led to another to keep it simple. But we talked the guy down. He was crying crocodile tears. He was so distraught because his baby's mother chose another guy over him. And the guy that was in the house with the gun called his friend. So another car pulls up with around 4 guys in the car with their guns. So now I get called on the scene. So we negotiating the whole situation. And once I told everybody it was about the baby's mother, they began to listen a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I told him this guy with the other gun, he's never shot a gun in his life, people. Never, ever. So give him a pass. He didn't mean no harm. He was just really emotionally, he was hurt. So we worked it out, and we got everybody to the table, sat him down. And the guy that was in the baby's mama's house, he told the guy straight up, he said, if it wasn't for these guys right here, I was going to kill you, man.
Wow.
And then the girl upstairs, she didn't want to come down and talk to nobody. She was like, I'm done basically with the guy. It's over with. And it was a sad situation because the guy got his heart broke at the same time. It really crushed him, bro.
It was a mix of emotions.
It was a mix of emotions. That's what I'm talking about.
And that's why a lot of these killings happen by, we were talking outside about how it just takes a second. Right. And from 1 second to the next, there's gun violence. And I think that's why it's important to show these examples of Tio Hardiman and violence interrupters, Mr. Ceasefire interrupting those kinds of things in the neighborhood. And there's, so many unsung heroes in the community like you that do these kinds of things. And I think we definitely need to shine a light on that When it comes to us doing this work and they see you on the front lines, Tio, they say, he's really serious. He's about his business, and it's no games. And we're really out here with a mission. But I like people to know the personal side, because once you get to know somebody for who they are, and see, the man behind, with the pictures and everything that they see, I think people can relate a lot more. Tio, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. They call it Lion City, Avalon Park.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the Henry Horner Projects as well.
Okay.
And the reason I'm happy to partner with ChiCity Cypher is because I come from entertainment, actually. I used to produce comedy shows, stage plays, and all that kind of good stuff. Okay. But a lot of people didn't realize I had a little sense of humor, So this is a true story, everybody. I stopped by to visit a psychic and to do a palm reading on my palm. So the psychic did the palm reading, and she told me, after she read my palm, she said there was a dark spirit hovering over me. And for $500, she would pray the spirit away. And what I told her, for $500, I may have to wait for that spirit to leave on his own. And I said, what you got to do, work out a payment plan with the spirit?
Right, we need somebody to come and interrupt this violence between you and the spirit over here.
That's right, there you go. So really, there's a comical side to me as well, because you have to have an outlet, okay? You can't just be serious all the time. The reason I ran for governor is because I wanted to show the world that we had some genuine leaders here in Chicago that can take on the billionaires and speak truth to power. So God blessed me. The first time I ran for governor, we secured 30% of the state vote. In all the pros, in all the polls, someone would only get 5% of the vote. We got 30% of the state vote.
That's amazing.
That was major because I hit the ground running. God blessed me with charisma, and I've been anointed to be Mr. Ceasefire. I can't get around it. There's nothing I can do. That's who I am.
Everybody in the city knows Ceasefire. Everyone, as I'm in my travels, working every day, telling people that I'm working with Tio Hardiman, and you say Ceasefire, you know that it's definitely something in the city that was trying to make an effect and make a change. Personally, I thank you very much for all your efforts, because with us putting on this event, we collaborated recently on the ChiCity Cypher, Chicago Stop the Violence Summit. And it's just great to see how, you're out there really doing things, and you're not just this person that's out in the media. You're a real dude, and you're here, and you're really doing things in the community. And, it's important. It's important. And, we thank you for the ChiCity Cypher and working with us, because that's what we're about as well. Making an effect in the community through the arts. Is there anything else that you want to tell the public about what we're doing here?
No, mainly it was a blessing to partner with ChiCity Cypher and Playtime Radio, because we brought people together on the south side of Chicago for a peace summit during the Memorial Day weekend, and I thought it was great. You had the entertainers were there, the rappers, the poets, and music brings the best minds together sometimes. And if we can just get more positive music pumping through the airways, I think it would be phenomenal. Because a lot of times the negative music, it plays a role, but there's no real link to gangster rap and violence. There's really no real link to it. If that's the case, there's a lot of black exploitation movies back in the day where a lot of killing was in the movie, and nobody said you were going to go out and kill somebody just because you watched the movie. Yeah. So gangster rap gets a bad rap sometimes, but at the same time, the ChiCity, Cypher, you got a lot of positive brothers and sisters out there that are enjoying themselves and really promoting peace. Yeah. So that's what was good about the summit.
Yeah, and we're out here trying to promote a positive message, and to touch on what you said, like, they associate the violence with the music, with the rap music and the hip hop, but the way Ice Cube said on the interview back in the day that I watched, he's saying, well, these directors are making movies about killing and all this, and they're praised as, and they get awards for it, and we come out here and we speak our truth and we get slammed for it. So I think it's important to understand where we come from and how the art is really something that's derived from our experiences in the community.
That's what I'm talking
about. But I want you guys to stay tuned. Mr. Ceasefire web series is going to be coming very soon in collaboration with the ChiCity Cypher, and we're going to be putting episodes together to let you guys know the real things that happen in the real Chicago.
I'd like to send a message out to the young brothers too. I just want to say this. Before you decide to shoot and kill somebody, think about the repercussions. Think about the consequences. I know people shoot first, ask questions later. But if you have a girlfriend, a wife, your mother, your father, and your kids, and all that kind of good stuff there, just think about the consequences. Because once you give your freedom up and you find yourself in a 6x9 cell 23 hours a day, you can only look at the wall 11 hours this way and pause for a minute. Then look at the wall the other 12 hours this way and pause for a minute. No more new gym shoes. You're wearing a state-ordered, outfit. No type of, no good food. You're eating what they give you down there unless you got some commissary or whatever the case may be. But the main message I want to put out there is if you don't have to take a life, if you don't have to take a life, step back, try to work it out, because it's better to be at peace than to be at war anytime. And that's real talk. I'm talking about what gangsters have told me in my life. I've had gangsters that tell me they didn't want no nonsense or no mess. As a matter of fact, I had a friend, he said he didn't even argue with nobody because he didn't want to have to hurt him. You know what I mean? So what I'm talking about here is this. Too many people are locked up already. Let it go. Do not give in to peer pressure. Do not give in to trying to please your friends all the time, because what really hurts me the most, I see guys out there that have tattoos of their buddies on their arm instead of tattoos of their women, tattoos of their kids, tattoos of their buddies. I'm not saying their buddies don't make a difference in their life, but the thing is, your main commitment as a young man is to your primary family first. Your primary family. Because when you get locked up, your grandmother end up dying while you're locked up. Your mother might end up dying while you're locked up. Your kids may end up getting hurt while you're locked up, and you cannot be there to help them. This here is a serious message due to the fact that some people miss this. As soon as they get locked up, they begin to think about what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Think about it, brothers and sisters, before you pull the trigger. If you can work it out on the front end, do your best to work it out. All of us understand self-defense. That's a whole different conversation. But if it's not self-defense, if you can work it out on the front end, that's where Mr. Ceasefire comes in at. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Definitely, and like my brother Loke said off camera, once you shoot that shot, it's a decision that you cannot take back. And you'll find yourself in a jail cell wishing that you didn't do it, and you lose your whole life. And like you said, it's a crime that affects the whole family. Right. Your grandmother, your mother, your father, everybody's affected. Your children, they lose the staple in the home. And if we went into it deeper, which we will another day, right. Once you lose that staple in the home, the family gets broken. When the family gets broken, the children are out on the streets. And then we need things like Mr. Ceasefire web series so those kids could watch and see that there's other alternatives to this. Thank you for being with us, Tio.
Appreciate you, bro.
Mr. Ceasefire, ChiCity Cypher, it's your boy Gizzo. We are out.
Right on.